Master Tintin had something to say.
Hmm?
Tintin had something to say.
Yeah, I see. How do you know?
He tried to speak.
I see. Sorry. All right. Okay. Please do that.
Thanks for calling it out, Meenakshi ji. I didn't want to break sir's flow as well. So when you talked about things will happen, it's been happening to me. Maybe not to the degree of present time reality. You reaching out and getting the correct book, or the swordsman blocking the sword without even thinking. But whenever I really wanted something, it's been happening to me to such a level that sometimes I'm afraid to think, not knowing
Yeah,
whether it will happen.
when you said that last sentence, I understand that it is happening. Yeah, it can induce a slight anxiety and fear also. Be cool about it.
Okay, sir.
Then it became so easy when I started inviting challenges.
Who is talking?
Parvati ji.
All right. Okay. Once again, yeah.
It became so easy then, okay. And I thought there should be some democracy. I felt I should not be getting everything so easily, unlike others. Um, so that was a mental conflict for me, and which has actually boomeranged again. Um, so I'm in that kind of a state now.
So, do you have a question, or you're making a statement, or you're making a report?
So it's a report. Now I'm a little tired. Now I want things a little more easier. I don't I can't be in the democratic way now.
No, that will be definitely over. For you, everything is coming in the right direction. So, this is a passing phase of slight flood. The floodgates of some dam got opened. That's all. Once the water flows out into the nothingness, it will be over. Look at that! Look at that master craftsman. Who I am referring to? Can anybody say?
Universal Spirit.
How many master craftsmen we have in our parables?
Made the sword.
Which sword?
The sword which was taken by the cook. Shogun's
A
sword.
sword which was made for the emperor.
Made for the emperor.
Exactly, yeah. That's again, these are all beautiful instances which you have to genuinely. This is also truthfulness, once again. I told you sometime back, for a truthful mind, there is no difference between the parable and the reality. There is no difference between the fiction and the reality. That is the truthfulness of genius himself. Everybody should be having that. Otherwise, how can they believe in the Jesus and the Krishna and the Buddha? They have not seen them. And look at that craftsman. Yes, Tindon, very right. Beautiful. Because when he was making that sword for the emperor, he was so sure that that sword will never be used. Because an emperor doesn't have to use a sword. But because he was making it for the emperor, he applied his entire entity into the making of that.
What about the craftsman who made the lightning rose?
Yeah, that was a normal sword. Of course, that was a good sword, but that sword became a lightning rose because Shogun used it.
Used it. Yes, true.
Because that sword was made with that kind of a truthful heart. Again, Tintin, that is the beauty. It has to work. Just don't doubt. Now, that's what I told you. So many ridiculous linkages are attacking the modern human beings who are a victim of the campaigns of the media and the newspaper and the internet and the stupid socialization process. You have to. That's why I told you have to identify the linkages that are operating in everyday life from morning till you go to bed. What are the linkages that are controlling you? Cut out all bloody linkages which are irrelevant. Because this existence, the whole existence of this universe is a drama, and in this drama, it is absolutely essential that we do our part in the finest way, like a cat is a cat is a cat. That is the test of this drama. Evidenced by all drama. I mean, on the theater, I'm talking. Will you tolerate an actor who is showing nonsense on the stage? All of you know that it is a drama. Then why do you worry? Okay. So let all your making be the making of a craftsman. As if that making is to be gifted to the emperor of existence.
Good, sir.
Fully knowing that it may not be used. That is the essence of Navin. Karmanye vadhigara say.
Right.
Just do it.
Mm-hmm.
That sword will somehow reach the most inspired, the most wonderful hands. It will be stolen to be used by the most wonderful hands. That's the beauty. Look at the beauty.
So, cutting all irrelevant linkages.
Yeah.
So that irrelevant,
It's your choice, Ramesh.
it's a choice. It's
Of
a
course.
choice.
For example, Ramesh, you cut a linkage today for today's purpose. No, we understand because there is no. Understand the fundamental rule of flexibility. That is to be applied in your choice of what is to be an invariant, what is to be a variant, what variant is to be considered an invariant, what invariant to be considered a variant. Similarly, today you are going to cut that linkage. That's all.
Yeah.
Tomorrow you may go in search of that linkage. That's a different issue.
Yes.
In other words, you will not be a non-conscious, remote, robot-controlled victim of linkages. That's what I said.
Because what is relevant today might be irrelevant tomorrow.
Yeah. That means you are all the time in control of linkage. That's what I said, like a cat. For example, your colleague is calling you for a cup of tea every day. One day you say, please, you go today. And sometimes you consciously do it. Why not? And similarly, sometimes you consciously create a new linkage also, Ramesh. And that's why, Ramesh, that question is very important, especially Ramesh, his official responsibility, then Ganesh, Vinay, etc. Maybe Parvati also, as of now. Naveen may not be to that extent because working in a bureaucracy. Maybe Tintin also. Anyway, that's not important. Oh, that's why I told you that every one of you just try to write poetry every week. Because what you write, whether it is a Nobel Prize winning or Max House Award winning, is not the issue. Because poetic thinking is an exercise to create linkage. Without linkage thinking, you just cannot write poetry. Impossible. Of course, what Ramesh does also is okay. Ramesh is doing poetry in concepts. That's okay. What he did is actually poetry. I mean, linking new things. He had the confidence to revise so-called Maslowian theory of motivation. What a wonder, actually.
Right, sir.
And look at his control. From kindergarten to MTech from IIT Delhi, I don't think he has ever touched any of the social science subjects. But what an understanding he has. That is actually new linkages formed inside you, Ramesh. For example, a simple lyric in Malayalam, maybe Naveen and Ramesh may not know, written by Girish Puttanjeri. പാദസരങ്ങളണിഞ്ഞ മനസ്സിലൊരായിരമായിരം ഓർമ്മകളാവുക നീ. What a wonderful linkaging. Padasaram is Gunguru. പാദസരങ്ങളണിഞ്ഞ മനസ്സ്. The mind is wearing a Gunguru. Naveen.
Sir.
And wearing that Gunguru, the mind is getting thousands and thousands of memories, of course, sweet memories. That means that mind is currently dancing. That's why Gungurus are worn.
Great.
And that lyric is telling you, I mean, the character is telling or suggesting the lover or the love that you have to become that kind of memories that will make my mind dance wearing that gungurus of that memory. Sorry, whatever, How can anybody think now when it is there, it is easy for us to analyze it. But it has to occur first in the mind of someone. Do you see?
Great, sir.
Similarly, the poem you wrote also, Naveen, at the end of the thing. So, every one of you must try, not for anything, but to exercise the engines of your reflective, creative, analytical projection. It is projection, you are projecting. Similarly, there is another line in the same lyric. സ്വപ്നത്തിൻ വാതിൽ പടിയിൽ വന്നു വിളിച്ചു നീ എന്നെ. That means you have come and invoked me or invited me or called me, coming to the threshold of my dream. Opening the door of my dream. What is it?
Good.
So these are simple examples in normal lyric. So if you look at all those highly creative people, they were all poetic. They have all written little poetry, including Albert Einstein. They were not known for their poetry, that's all. Edison used to write little lyrics, Thomas Alva Edison. But more often, in his factory, he had a pianist playing music. He had appointed a pianist in his laboratory, in his factory. Her job was to play music. So, in between his work, Edison will go to that room and just sit there. That was his engaging with the randomness of the unknown.
Hitler used to paint also, sir.
Yeah, yes. Yes, very true. So, how 1 or 2, 3, how some painting, how some drawing, just not to show anybody, but to show just one and one entity. Who is that entity? Exactly. That creature of you. Which has been trained from very early childhood to be disregarded and taken for granted and completely to be a victim of the instructions and guidelines straight away given or implied and later incorporated into the mind. That's what everybody is. Of course, do the job as marketing manager or senior administrative officer or head of analytics or head of HR, whatever, that is a different thing. Plowing in the field. Do not see it as different. Gel with it. There's a possibility that the mechanical design and setting and process and the doing of the modern organizations might might enforce a sense of alienation inside you. Master it. That's all. See your most rigid and mechanical office room as a beautiful field with a little bit of mist and hills and rivers and mountains and all that. And or place a beautiful poster there, and in that poster, let that poster be your gate to the nature process outside. And see that every day, every dialogue must influence the other person. Consciously try it. Do not make a waste dialogue. How simple as that. I don't do that. I have never done that. Whether the other person cared or not, you don't care. That's all. And gradually, every one of them will come and because, as I told you, there is an innate sensitivity about the good and the wonderful in everybody. So, no doubt, regardless of whatever political climate of the organization, they will all know you. They may not accept it openly, but I'm sure they will know you. And don't do anything to know that, as I told you. Before that, as I told you, linkage with that invariant. That's all. So, all right. Good
Sir,
night. Yes.
I
Okay.
had just one question.
Yeah.
Is intentionality same as, or intentionality be interpreted as driven by identity?
Provided what identity?
Whatever the identity the individual is seeking, or
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. That's a very deep question, which is a very wonderful question. Yeah, because intentionality we are yet to come to, but I was surprised why you asked the question about intentionality. Of course, then your identity as a unique, truthful entity will automatically have its intentionality. Then it will have its what called direct opening up of linkages. Like a good chair will invite people to sit on that, no, without it telling anything. Similarly, as you asked, when you are very clear about the uh, uh, form or the concept or the sense of your identity, then intentionalities will be taken over by that identity. That's what sometime back Tintin said. Then the correct book will come to you. And if it is required, a correct book and the correct page will come to you for a moment and then will disappear. Then from somewhere a stranger will come and tell you. A stranger will come and touch your feet. And be careful, like Tintin said, there could be a moment of anxiety and fear. Or there could be moments of conflict like Parvati was mentioning. Because when you are becoming powerful, it is not something very easy. You have to be comfortable with the poor. You have to be, that's what I said. You have to be a nobody, like Meenakshi talked. Then everything is okay, Tintin. You know? And what is that invariant in you which is enjoying all this? What is going on now? What is it actually?
The truth, sir.
A truth about?
The truth about the entity
Okay.
inside.
Uh-huh. Oh, I see. Wonderful. Then, Tintin. It may not be easy to say, but if you can say or verify that, but you can give a hint. You can beat around the bush, no doubt. Why are you sitting there now?
Sis, all this are making me more sensitive, more and more sensitive.
Now, once again, Parvati.
All these changes are making me much more sensitive, you know, to a point where I'm in a lot of dilemmas. Where, you know, as I told a little while ago, if things come easily to me, then I feel I'm not playing in a level ground, and I want to help others, but it's practically not possible. People will not take it. So if I enjoy that easiness, I feel selfish about myself. So it's a lot of dilemma.
Uh-huh. You mean that the dilemma is sustaining you here? Or the hope that you will get out of that dilemma sustains you here?
Yeah, hope that a dilemma will get a, you know, I should get some convincing answer to accept this things that are coming easily to me, accept certain luck that happens to me without having any guilt.
Okay. One single answer is be a nobody.
But getting sensitive to others because I can see um, how they can come out of certain things or situations, but people, you know, don't, they are not open to, you know, even suggestions. So I can't just go out and you know, suggest or even try to help, but I can clearly see things. I
That's a,
can,
okay, all right, okay. That's a correct identification of the situation, but that's a bottleneck in the work situation, right?
even outside, in even in other situations, I can see people. I can see they can be helped. I can see they can come out, but they will not, and it's uh, it's
Yeah, all right, okay. I understand. You use the correct word. You're sensitive. That is a problem with all geniuses in the history of the world, Parvati. We discussed the attributes of so-called whatever is named as genius. It is just a collective term, genius, like a vehicle. But what is a vehicle? There is an engine, there is a cylinder, there is a gearbox, there is a whole lot of things. Altogether, we call an automobile. Similarly, genius is just a word. The most critical attribute of a genius is high sensitivity, which we call creative sensitivity. That only makes him sensitive to the things visible and the things invisible and intangible. And you cannot choose that you can be sensitive only to that. So because sensitivity is sensitivity is sensitivity. So that is inevitable, Parvati. And you have to bring in everyday philosophy to manage all those dilemmas and conflicts. That's the only way.
Master, can I give her a suggestion?
That was the dilemma of Buddha. That was the dilemma of Jesus. That was the dilemma of Krishna. That was the dilemma of Swami Vivekananda. That was the dilemma of J. Krishnamurti. Perhaps that is the dilemma of the so-called very God, if it was it's a consciousness, which it is not anyway. Yeah, Meenakshi has an answer. What is that?
Yeah, I too went through such periods of sensitivities. That does not mean I'm not so now, but I was enthusiastic at one point in time to reveal it to others in a way to help them. And I remember whenever I did so in my enthusiasm, it never worked in the sense that the person who's receiving that suggestion would never take me seriously. So then I thought about a question, a point which Master had always reminded us that people who receive your advice should be eligible to get it. So now I've decided to keep quiet and I suggest only and only when it is sought. Because they probably are the ones who will benefit from you, and for the others, it won't work. So then why say? So what it has also done to me is that I'm a lot quieter than and less talkative than what I was in the past. I have very few communications now, and I'm very brief in my conversations. I think that's fine. That's the way to be. Or I'm
That's
like
how
that.
I used to be this way, but now I'm feeling if I keep quiet, that is a lot more selfish. This is my dilemma. I'm not able to keep quiet.
In fact, it is not. I would say it is not. I have found the lesser I speak, the better it is for myself.
Parvati, that is because of your love and concern for people. That you cancel out, that's all. Because if it doesn't work, why should you maintain that concern and love for people? Anyway, whatever it is a passing phase. Like I told you, cut all unnecessary linkages of the day. If it is required tomorrow, you open that linkage. If it is not working, close that book today. And if it is required, open that book tomorrow. Never keep it continuously opened. Like driving a car. It is like driving a car. Put the gears according to the terrain, according to the traffic, according to the requirement. You have a BMW, therefore you will always go in 120 kilometers through any road? No.
Yeah.
Speed up when it is required. Sometimes you may go slow in a wide 120 feet road. And sometimes you may drive 100 kilometers in a heavy traffic also. So that depends. So you have the choice, you have the joystick, you have the steering, you have the gear, and you have the clutch and brake and accelerator. And it's a perfect metaphor. It is a perfect metaphor.
Right.
Drive the engines according to the requirements. That is your principle. You're an IT company. What is requirement analysis? So that's what Meenakshi also said. Give it to those who deserve, those who want it. That's all. There should be an ongoing requirement analysis. Then you will know what linkages, what gear to be put, what gear should not be engaged in. That's all. Clear.